So I want to introduce a fellow coworker of ours, and his story kind of spoke resonance to all of us on the Inclusion Committee. And he really wants to talk with you today about why he joined the committee. He actually called me and asked me a question about what the committee was all about, and I said, why don't you join? And so he joined, and I just really love his story. So with that, I would like to welcome Jim Miller from IT.
And now I know what it's like to follow a couple legends. My goodness. Good morning to my beautiful Indonesian wife, my family in Indonesia. I say, Selamat pagi, aku cinta kalian semua, which means good morning, and I love every one of you. Depending on which side of my family you get to know, you may find them either very racist or very non-prejudiced, with prejudice meaning in its simplest form to prejudge or to already have a preformed opinion. Unfortunately for me in my childhood, I spent most of my time with the racist side. As I got older and started having children of my own, I decided that I would no longer partake in the racial misgivings I grew up with, which turned out to be a much more difficult endeavor than I anticipated. In my life, I've been able to quit smoking, stop drug use in my teenage years. I've overcome numerous injuries, surgeries, and have even overcome a debilitating illness I was told by multiple doctors would torment me my entire life. But weeding out my own racial tendencies has proven to be bigger than me, and at some point I've had to admit defeat. So I embarked on a journey to do the next best thing and have racism end in my family line with me. I strove to keep it from my daughters and to bury it with me in the grave. As an example of the racial bias I've been unable to overcome, I recall the first time my oldest daughter, Critter as I've called her from such a young age, came home and stated that she had accepted an invitation to a high school dance from a young man who was black. I wasn't filled with hate or disgust or anger or rage or disappointment, but rather found myself asking questions of the young man that I had not asked her previous dates or boyfriends. I wanted to know his plans after high school. I wanted to know what his current GPA was. I wanted to know about his family. Were they divorced? Were they still together? The scrutiny I put him under was greater than any of the white guys she had brought home or told me about. It was at that moment I realized I was still not the person I wanted to be. That was the last time I ever treated a boy different because of race when it came to my daughters. At the end of last year, I received a call from a young man named Bryson, who was nervously and sweetly calling me to ask for my daughter's hand in marriage. It was an incredibly proud moment in my life, one in which many of you have probably shared and hopefully many more will share in. Bryson is a young black man who has fulfilled almost every hope I have had for my Critter with one exception. He's not a billionaire. But there's still time. I joined the committee because, like many of you, I really know nothing about black history in America outside of Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King, who I often would get confused with Martin Luther of the Protestant Reformation in his 95 Thesis, and everything I learned from regularly watching Blazing Saddles. That actually wasn't a joke. Today we are constantly bombarded with news of racial tension, cops versus blacks, the poor versus the rich, and many other headlines that further perpetuate the racism that still divides this country. My thought was this: if I can expand my education about black history in America, maybe I could be a better father-in-law, to the person entrusted with the loving and the protecting of one of my greatest treasures. And I am very happy and very grateful for everything I've learned so far, and will continue to learn. To my critter, thank you for being the kind of person that ignores the outside and has the ability to look right at the heart of a person. You're an inspiration to this old man. And to Bryson, I can say honestly and wholeheartedly, today, right now, I'm proud to call you son. Thank you.